December 7th, 1941. Hundreds of Japanese planes descend on Pearl Harbor. Torpedoes demolish docked battleships. American planes explode on the tarmac before they can take off. It's the most devastating attack in American history. But let's change one thing. Instead of caught off guard sailors scrambling to battle stations, on the docks sits something that nobody understands: the Iron Man Mark 85 nanotech suit piloted by Tony Stark and dropped into a fight he never planned for. So, what happens when the most powerful Iron Man suit is unleashed during one of history's bloodiest ambushes? Can he single handedly stop 353 Japanese aircraft, or is he just one man against more than 300? It might not be as simple as you think. Tony Stark's been transported to December 7th, 1941 with no backup, no Avengers, and no Jarvis satellite network. It's just him, his endgame armor, and about 2 minutes before the first bombs start falling. The Mark 85 deploys from his arc reactor in seconds as he patrols the docks of Pearl Harbor, billions of nanobots flowing like liquid metal. This isn't a clunky prototype, it's the same suit that went toe to toe with Thanos. He's got palm repulsors that fire concentrated plasma beams hot enough to melt through steel, a unibeam chest projector that can vaporize a tank, micro missile pods on his shoulders loaded with hundreds of guided munitions, each smart enough to pick its own target, lasers that can slice through metal, and nanoparticles can form energy blades, hammers, or shields in close combat. The suit is powered by an arc reactor and is loaded with an onboard AI named Friday that runs tactical analysis in real time through thermal imaging, radar, and a satellite uplink system that's got 0 bars in 1941. But even without satellite, the suit's onboard sensors can track hundreds of targets simultaneously within 50 miles. But Stark has limits. The armor runs on power from the arc, which will run out. The nanoparticles can self-repair, but enough hits and they'll run out of material. And Tony is still just a human beneath the shell. Too many G-forces or impacts, and his organs turn to pudding, suit or no suit. And he's in for a fight because Admiral Chuichi Nagumo brought his A-game. 6 aircraft carriers in total have launched everything they've got. A first wave containing 183 aircraft, followed by a second wave containing 170 more. These are Mitsubishi A6M Zeros, agile, fast, and flown by master pilots. Nakajima, Kate B5N torpedo bombers carrying Type 91 torpedoes, and Aichi D3A Val dive bombers with 550-pound bombs. These pilots are the best Japan has, masters of their craft. They've drilled this attack for months using detailed models and know exactly where to hit, when to hit, and how to maximize destruction. In our timeline, it worked perfectly. 2,403 Americans died, 19 warships were damaged or sunk, and 300 aircraft were destroyed, all in under 2 hours. This time, instead of 87,000 men, they'll be fighting just one. 7:45 a.m. Tony's sensors light up. 183 objects approaching from the north at 180 knots, altitude varying from 50 feet to 14,000. His heads-up display categorizes them into 3 groups: torpedo bombers low, dive bombers high, and Zeros maintaining a perimeter. He rockets skyward at Mach 2, covering 5 miles in seconds. The Japanese pilots don't even have time to process what they're seeing before the Mark 85 is in their ranks. Tony extends both palms and fires. Twin repulsor beams lance through the morning air, slicing through the first array of torpedo bombers. 3 planes disintegrate instantly. Their torpedoes detonate in midair, creating a chain reaction that takes out a couple more. The Zeros react, peeling off from their escort positions as their 20mm Type 99 cannons and 7.7mm machine guns fill the air with a lethal crossfire pattern they've used to shred Chinese fighters for years. The Mark 85's AI calculates 400 projectile trajectories simultaneously, plotting adjustments that thread him through the fire pattern. The few rounds that connect spark against his armor, and nanoparticles flow in to seal the damage, but his particle reserve drops to 92%. Tony launches a barrage of micro missiles straight into the Zero's engines as plane after plane becomes a fireball, but there are nearly 200 total. Dive bombers break formation, scattering across the sky, correctly assuming this monster can't be everywhere at once. His shoulder pods open again and release a swarm of micro missiles that each lock on to a different target. The sky erupts in explosions as 24 Japanese planes vanish. 8 a.m. The battle reaches Pearl Harbor. Tony's power is at 78%, his nanoparticle reserves at 85%. Every second, his tactical computer screams warnings about multiple targets. A flight of Kates line up on Battleship Row, approaching at exactly 50 feet, the height they've practiced 1,000 times. Tony dives, accelerating past Mach 1 to catch up. The practice attack runs call for these bombers to line up straight in a row. Perfect targets for a well-placed repulsor blast that shreds through several engines. But one releases its torpedo, and Tony dives, grabbing the 2,000-pound torpedo mid-air before tossing it away from a ship below. A formation of dive bombers approaches USS Arizona next, each carrying a massive armor-piercing bomb. The fight is getting too close for comfort, so Tony goes full power. The unibeam charges, humming with energy that makes the air itself crackle. He unleashes it in a sweeping arc across the bomber formation that vaporizes every plane in the formation. His power drops to 65%, nanoparticles at 79%. The first wave isn't even over, and the numbers are simply too much. While Tony engages one group, others slip through. A Val dive bomber releases its payload toward USS Oklahoma, and Tony fires an interceptor missile a half second too late, and it collides, opening a gash in the side of the warship. 8:50 a.m. Tony is down to 51% power, and his nanoparticles have depleted to 68% from the constant impacts. The G forces are taking their toll too. His nose bleeds inside the helmet, and his hands shake from the constant strain. The second wave arrives, 170 fresh aircraft. These pilots have been monitoring radio chatter. They know about the Red Devil, and one lieutenant commander organizes a new strategy: synchronized attacks from 6 vectors, forcing the Red Devil to choose what to protect. Tony is powerful, but he can't be everywhere. He stops a torpedo run on USS Pennsylvania, while the USS Nevada takes a hit that floods her forward compartments. He vaporizes a dive bomber formation targeting the submarine base, while another craters the airfields. A Zero catches Tony focused on saving USS Maryland, and a barrage of 20-millimeter cannon shells hit him in the back, depleting nanoparticles faster than they can be replaced. Warning lights flash as particle reserves drop to 41%. The numbers are overwhelming, unpredictable, and more keep coming. At 25% power, the suit's AI recommends retreat. Tony makes a final stand over the fuel depots. If those 4 million gallons ignite, Pearl Harbor burns for weeks. His suit is more gaps than armor at this point. Hydraulics are failing, one repulsor is completely dead, and 7 bombers are approaching. Tony overloads his arc reactor for a unibeam burst that engulfs all 7 planes, but the strain finally breaks something critical and the Mark 85 goes dead, sending Tony plummeting toward the harbor. 9:45 a.m. The attack is over. What's left of the second wave is in shambles and retreating. Out of 353 attacking aircraft, most never make it home. So, could Iron Man stop the attack on Pearl Harbor? Yes, but not completely. USS Nevada and Oklahoma are beached to prevent sinking. USS California has taken 2 torpedo hits, and 68 American aircraft are destroyed on the ground. A few buildings are damaged, and more ships will need patching, but it's nothing like the devastation in our timeline. Or what do you think would happen? And if you want to see what happened when Superman fought the entire US military, click the video on screen now. Thanks for watching.